The tech space can look like it's all rosy and all fun, has to do with a lot of food, games, more food, and it looks like there's not much struggle. I mean, you code a little, you eat, you have fun, you talk, you chat, you move about. But there are a few things that will make you reconsider this as a career path. Not because you can't do it, but it's whether you want to endure that. Firstly, if you want to become a software engineer, you want to write code, you want to create something out of nothing. You want to be able to build something that actually lives out there, either on mobile devices, web devices, or it's used in different technology. You have to have in mind that though in the tutorials everything worked fine, in the real world, not everything will work fine. We call this having bugs. The bugs can come in different forms, sizes, and intensities. So you could have syntax errors where you make mistakes in the actual semantics of the code, or you could have logical errors. Errors that are not necessarily mistakes in the code, but mistakes in the flow of how things are done. Sometimes they are not really errors, but you realize along the line you are running out of space or running out of memory because of some decisions which you took, and at the time it looked like the optimal decision, but going down the line you realize that you are actually missing some stuff. With bugs, sometimes you can spend hours, days, or even weeks just trying to figure out something. It actually happened to me at a point where I was struggling with something, the code just wasn't running, only for me to find out that I was missing a particular semicolon. At that point in time, I didn't have an editor which used the IntelliSense, so that was really something that worried me at that point. Another time I was trying to do something with Axios in Node.js. So with my other teammates, he was able to connect with Axios. We were using WSL on a Windows machine. He was able to connect with Axios perfectly. We were using the exact same code. However, mine was failing. I tried and tried. I tried to troubleshoot, tried to find things, Googled here and there. I used almost 2 to 3 days, if I'm not mistaken, to actually solve the issue. So the issue was with the Axios package. I had to force the Axios package to use the IPv4 standard, and that fixed the issue. So something like this, a bug that took me 2 to 3 days to actually figure out. Sometimes it can even be worse, where you have to spend days and weeks, months just to figure out a particular bug. So something like this, you have to have persistence and resilience, because you could easily give up. You have searched it online and you're not getting any particular solution. You've asked AI, and sometimes it's because you don't really understand the actual issue. So something like this, is best to take your time and try and understand the actual issue. So I was thinking it was from the WSL, but it was actually from the Axios package working with the WSL. Get my point? In this world of software engineering, where people are trying to always bring out something better, more optimal, less space hungry, less power hungry, there are always new packages coming which are now becoming industry standard quite quickly. So in this field, we tend to learn things quite quickly, because something you used and worked perfectly fine a few months ago just becomes obsolete 2 or 3 months down the line. To really thrive in this sector, especially in software engineering, you have to be someone who actually likes to learn and is willing to learn. Because if you have the mindset of sticking with what you know for your whole career path, you will basically stay as a junior developer, you not really grow. To really thrive in this sector, especially in software engineering, you have to be someone who can learn quickly or can pick up a skill quickly. And quickly is relative, everyone has the way they pick it, but generally to pick it faster than the general average. Also, it's perfectly fine not to understand or know everything. No one expects you to know or understand everything all the time. But what you're expected to do is to research, especially if you are given a task and you don't know what's about. It's best to research first. If you are still having issues, that's when you reach out. It will be bad manners in this tech space if you don't do your own research and just go to someone and ask the person, because it could disturb the person from the task the person is doing, and also put a negative perception in their mind about you, that you're not someone who can think on your feet, or you're not someone who is dependable, and it could also spoil your rep. Another thing most software engineers also face is the imposter syndrome. Now, at this point, imposter syndrome is almost becoming part of the trade now. Almost every software engineer, if not everyone, has gone through this phase where they believe they didn't belong, or they were not cut out to be there, or they were not good enough as their colleagues are. Now, imposter syndrome is not necessarily a bad thing. It can boost you to learn more and to actually get to the point where you are supposed to be. However, if you go to where you are using illegal means, for instance, if you are given a technical assignment for a job application and you let someone do it for you and you passed and you don't even have any idea of what the test was, but you made it into the role, you're dead. If you also lied on your resume and you manage to get into the role and you don't know any of the skills that are needed for that particular role, which you stated on your resume, you're dead. The best way to use this imposter syndrome is to fool yourself to be better, more or less. Burnout. Almost all developers have either directly or indirectly had to work outside working hours or at odd hours. You could be there just enjoying your day and boom, production server crashes or there's an issue with the customer over the weekend. You will most likely or most definitely be called. Also, when working remotely, it's especially difficult to separate working hours from personal time because imagine you wake up from your bed and your office or your desk is right in front of you. When you sit there, you're basically working. When it hits 5 and you're supposed to check out, since you are literally still at the desk and you may have some tasks uncompleted, you'll be inclined to stay there and just be working and realize it's 8 o'clock or 9 p.m. I'm guilty of this one. How I plan to deal with burnout and also distinguishing working hours from personal time is actually to try and do as much work as I can within my working hours so I don't feel guilty when I stop after my working hours because I'm not good at it yet, but I'm trying to stop work after 5. That is if I don't have any critical thing to do. If I have something critical to do, I'll have to work. But if I don't have anything critical to do, and working hours is over, I'll try my best to clock off and move ahead. If you have any tips on this, please drop it below. I would like to learn from you. Handling ambitious requirements. More often than not, clients have the idea perfectly in their head. However, sometimes articulating it to you, the developer, can be very difficult. That's when you need the help of your product managers and product owners to help clarify this. Even with that, sometimes it can get really tough to iron out the exact requirements and to stick to those requirements because sometimes they can say they want this and this. However, when they go to bed and wake up the next day, they want the color from blue to green. And as a software engineer, you have to get used to these kind of things where you do something today, then tomorrow you are told to change it. It's not ideal and it's not encouraged. However, it happens from time to time. So you have to get adjusted to some of these things. So these are just a few of the reasons why you may not want to have software engineer as your career path. There can also be the issue of dealing with legacy code that some people had written almost 5 to 10 years ago, and you have to go through and try and fix stuff. These are just a few of the things. Software engineer is not just about eating, playing games, having fun. Don't get me wrong though, software engineering is fun. The joy of seeing what you've created actually come to life is really, really exciting. Also, there is good work-life balance if you have a good place you are working. You can make some good money also from software engineering and from the tech industry in general. So I'm not discouraging anyone from doing this. I'm just letting you know that these are some things you have to look out for or just be expectant on. They can come in apart from the money, the food, the enjoyment, the excitement when you build something. There are also some downsides to this. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. And I couldn't post last week because of some work stuff that I had to do, so sorry about that. I'll try as much as possible to be very consistent, one video every week. If I can't, please pardon me. I may be doing it one other week, but if that happens, I'll do all to put out a communique. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and drop your comments. If you have more issues of software engineering or tech that you have, please share them in the comments. If you have tips on how to also overcome these things, please do share them in the comments. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.